There are at least 100 billion galaxies in the visible component of the universe, and the findings of the Kepler mission indicate that our galaxy alone has billions of planets that are capable of supporting life. Welcome cosmic enthusiasts to another mind-bending journey with SpaceVerse. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join our spacefaring community as we voyage through the cosmos together. The Breakthrough Listen project, which is the largest alien search effort to date, has collected and analyzed 6 million radio signals from 97 different galaxies over the course of the previous 9 years. At this very moment, the results of that investigation are readily available to us. In conclusion, to what extent have we found any modern civilizations within this enormous universe? On the other hand, this very item indicated once more that our species is one of a kind even after searching for a great number of solar systems within these 97 galaxies, in a span of less than 9 years. How was it possible for this initiative, which started in 2015, to investigate billions of stars across 97 galaxies? The second most perplexing mystery is that 1. Do we have the ability to pull this off? How is it that this expedition is able to study 97 galaxies and billions of stars in just 9 years? What technology is it that makes this possible? Do we have the ability to pull this off? It is still the case that we do not have the solutions to a great number of fascinating and significant questions. During what time period did the first forms of life appear on our planet? Is there even a possibility that extraterrestrial beings could pose a threat to Earth? Isn't it merely a question of being on Earth? You are welcome to share your thoughts with me in the comments section of this video. In addition, the hidden message that is waiting for you will teach you a great deal. So, what were the significant takeaways? I will emphasize the response that I consider to be the best if you leave a remark with it. Since the beginning of the hunt for extraterrestrial life in the 1960s, the most important question that has been asked is, where do we begin? After everything was said and done, the general conclusion was that just like with Earth, the first step is to discover exoplanets in the habitable zone of the solar system. That is in an area where the water on the planet is able to maintain its liquid condition because the host star permits it to do so. The next step was to determine whether or not those exoplanets included any biosignatures, which are substances that are predominantly made up of species that are native to Earth. Dimethyl sulfide is one of these chemicals that was identified after decades of research. It is the only chemical that is responsible for the production of phytoplanktons, also known as marine algae, and it is found on Earth. The eruptions of volcanoes are responsible for this occurrence. The discovery of this molecule, along with others that are similar to it, could pave the way for human exploration of alien space. To be fair, when you think about it, isn't it simpler to find extraterrestrial beings? Obviously, that is not the case. Because of this, the European Space Agency, ESA, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, have successfully launched 3 significant space missions utilizing this method. Kepler, Gaia, and Corot are named. They played a significant role in reducing the total number of planets in the field from 5,572 to 63. On the other hand, it was eventually futile. Following this, almost all of the scientists had already given up on the proposed solution. In contrast, a report disclosed that Kepler had made the discovery of dimethyl sulfide on a planet around 4 months prior to the publication of the article. Furthermore, I am able to assert this with a high degree of assurance. The entire mission was altered as a result of this. The fact of the matter is that NASA scientists made the discovery of K2-18b, an exoplanet whose atmosphere was extremely similar to that of Earth, when they were conducting a study on exoplanets utilizing biosignatures. Carbon dioxide and methane, not to mention other common compounds, were also present in its atmosphere. Upon further investigation of the planet's data, however, it was discovered that there was also a minute amount of dimethyl sulfide present. Did this constitute sufficient evidence of the presence of extraterrestrial life in the atmosphere of K2-18b? With all honesty, I would answer yes. According to the findings of that research piece, the formation of this phenomenon cannot be attributed to any natural event that is not biological, such as a volcano. Nevertheless, the fact that we are unable to produce it artificially on Earth at the present time is not the pertinent problem. Creating this chemical in a laboratory is a straightforward process in today's world. The only thing that is necessary is a reaction between hydrogen sulfide and methanol that takes place at 380 degrees Celsius. At long last, completed. At this point, you are able to make your dimethyl sulfide. In this scenario, it is also possible that K218b is experiencing the same conditions and is producing it on its own without the presence of algae or animals that are comparable to phytoplankton. It is therefore impossible for us to state with absolute certainty that K218b does not include hydrogen sulfide and methanol until we have confirmed our discovery. In the meanwhile, we have to be adamant that there is absolutely no possibility of any type of life existing there. The claim has not been validated as of yet. In point of fact, this is precisely the reason why researchers were looking for other methods, in the event that they had any uncertainties regarding the existence or absence of life. Detecting technosignatures is another method that was developed to verify the existence of life. This method is similar to the one described previously. I will explain in a moment. We were talking about the second method of discovering extraterrestrial life earlier, and that method is the use of technosignatures. Listen, the utilization of technology for the purpose of communication is a defining characteristic of any advanced society. Furthermore, in the same way that our FM radios, televisions, mobile phones and satellites all send out radio waves into space, their technological marvels will do the same function. As a consequence of this, scientists came up with a concept of technosignatures as a technique of recognizing radio emissions that were generated by technological development. Additionally, there are observable markers that are present in intelligent life. For the purpose of determining the identity of these technosignatures, the Breakthrough Listen project was established in 2015 by Frank Drake, the well-known physicist Stephen Hawking, and the Israeli scientist Yuri Milner. Therefore, they started on a mission to discover technological signs among the 1,700 stars that constitute the heart of the Milky Way. They were of the opinion that in the center of the galaxy, regardless of where they were placed, there could be sentient technology. What exactly is going on here? To illustrate what I mean, let's take the planet Earth as an example. It was 4.6 billion years ago when man became the first person to walk on the surface of the Earth. Approximately 300,000 years beyond the present, we started working on developing technology that could send technosignatures into space. During the time when humanity started broadcasting technological signals, the Sun had already spent half of its lifetime. Consequently, this indicates that there is a greater possibility of intelligent life existing on planets that circle older stars. There is also going to be an increase in the possibility that it will take place. Always found in close proximity to the galactic center are the stars that are the oldest in a galaxy. These core stars of the Milky Way were the focus of the attention of the scientific community. While conducting their analysis of the radio waves that were emanating from these stars, however, they ran into a problem. The problem was that I needed to figure out how to differentiate between radio signals that come from extraterrestrial intelligences and those that come from galactic phenomena such as stars, black holes, and pulsars. As a means of determining the distinction between the two, the researchers investigated the radio signal frequencies that were emitted by pulsars, black holes, and stars. After gaining an understanding of the frequency with which these radio signals emanated from space events, they started looking for signals that were distinct from those that had been seen before. In the end, after all of this time and work, did the scientists discover technological signs in the core of the Milky Way that point to the existence of a highly sophisticated extraterrestrial civilization. Okay, so according to the scientists, 11 of those signals did not correspond to anything that happened in the natural world. On the other hand, up until this moment, they did not possess any tangible evidence to support the claim that these signals emanate from more evolved nations. As a result, after everything had happened, they found themselves back precisely where they started. Where did we go wrong then? These researchers have only found 1,700 stars out of the millions of stars that are positioned at the center of the Milky Way, which is equivalent to 1% of the total number of stars in the galaxy. In light of this, it is highly likely that a great number of radio transmissions have been overlooked. Not only should our satellites search for technosignatures in the Milky Way center stars, but they should also search for them in every other direction as well. This is one potential answer to this dilemma. Having said that, this would require a significant amount of effort with only a small amount of payoff, for the simple reason that, in the end, our detection skills would have been severely restricted to signals that originated from the Milky Way. Before we could review and upgrade, We had to figure out a way to find out, which implies that we had to figure out how to find out. The scientists believed that they were capable of completing a single purpose. It is possible that they will search for stars looking at other galaxies rather than their own. Should they proceed in this manner, they would be able to simultaneously investigate billions of stars. It was for this reason that in the year 2023, a method was devised that could concurrently study trillions of stars. In order to accomplish this, they needed to identify the galaxies that were located in the closest proximity to our own Milky Way. After that, with the assistance of the Green Bank Radio Telescope, which is located in the United States, they were able to collect data from around 1,440 terabytes of radio signals. In order to store this quantity of data, 11,200 pen drives of 128 gigabytes would be required. In addition to that, the analysis of it would take the scientists 4 years. On the other hand, rather than manually analyzing all of the data, they made the decision to filter it step by step. Therefore, the first thing that they did was determine which radio signal was truly coming from the planet Earth. As a result of the ever-growing orbital velocities of the planets around their sun, the frequency of their radio waves is continuously increasing. It's similar to how the frequency of the sound waves that are emitted by an ambulance increases as it gets closer to us. The frequency decreases in tandem with the decreasing proximity of the object. This phenomena is referred to by its name, which is the Doppler shift. After that, the data was processed with a tool known as SETI, which allowed the scientists to identify frequencies that exhibited the Doppler shift. This made it possible for them to discover signals that were coming from the planet. Following the application of this filter, the researchers found that there were 6 million signals coming from a planet that they did not know very much about. According to this, the utilization of artificial radio emissions led to the discovery of 6 million planets that are comparable to our own, which were found in 97 different galaxies. On the other hand, the probability that some of these signals were radio communications from our satellites continued to be an extremely high level. It was unavoidable given that they had telescopes mounted on the surface of the Earth. That being the case, the researchers started scanning in every direction in an effort to eliminate these unwanted signals or background noise. After concentrating on each signal for a period of 5 minutes, participants then shifted their attention to something else for another 5 minutes. There was a period of 5 minutes during which the signal from the galaxies was picked up, and then it disappeared for the subsequent 5 minutes. On the other hand, the telescope was able to detect signals from the surrounding noise even while it was not concentrating on galaxies themselves. Following the elimination of the background noise, the researchers came to the conclusion that only 1,519 signals were left out of the initial 6 million. The signals appeared to be coming from a planet that had an artificial appearance, and there was no background noise present. Is it possible that we have finally discovered proof of a highly developed extraterrestrial civilization? In an effort to find out, they painstakingly investigated each of the 1519 signals separately, and the results were quite depressing. The fact of the matter is that each and every one of those 1519 messages contained radio waves that were produced by our very own technology. But what exactly is the plan? There is a possibility that you will recall that I had previously informed you that the researchers have successfully eliminated the background noise. It is next necessary to inquire about the manner in which these signals emerged from the den. In order to be more specific, the scientists had made a mistake at this extremely important moment. The frequencies that were coming from our satellites have been deactivated at this very moment. On the other hand, they failed to remove the frequencies that were generated by the radio, television, and mobile devices. After taking into consideration these frequencies, we are able to draw the conclusion that the 1519 signals were in reality nothing more than environmental noise that we were initially oblivious to. That is to say, friends, and I ask that you take this matter seriously, in the end, not a single one of the 6 million signals that were detected in the 97 galaxies could have revealed the existence of extraterrestrial life. What does this imply about the level of attention that they paid to their research? In the first place, there has never been a life that is comparable to ours. Despite the fact that there are billions of planets in each of the 97 galaxies, no sentient life forms that are equivalent to our own have been found. We surely do not take this knowledge, which has been around for 8 decades and is referred to as life, lightly. To put it another way, our universe has already been for 14 billion years before any of us were born. Our understanding was incorrect, however. It was impossible to be conscious of one's own existence, and there was no experience of emotion. Furthermore, the cosmos itself will continue to operate for billions of years even after this. However, we are fortunate in that we only have 80 years left to live. When viewed from this vantage point, our time is the most valuable asset in the universe. But very few people actually place such a high value on it. At this very moment, how many of us are genuinely interested in gaining knowledge about the universe, our Creator, and everything that exists inside it for its entirety? Life that is sentient and intelligent, like ours, is the sole possibility for accomplishing this goal. However, many people have not yet come to terms with this fundamental reality. In light of this information, this misdirected study, unfortunately, tells us how to win as well. We spent billions of dollars and made every effort to locate extraterrestrial beings by employing state-of-the-art equipment and personnel. Things did not come to an end there. When it comes to the creation of anything as straightforward as a computer or an electric light, how many times have we all failed terribly the first time? In spite of this, the computer that we carry around with us today is 1,000 times more powerful than a computer that was invented in the 1850s. And this is the very essence of what it is to have a scientific perspective. It's a win-win situation. The most important thing to do after you lose is to take a step back and figure out what you lost. To reevaluate, you should use the procedure of the first principle. To improve things, you should think about new approaches. If you are going to try anything and fail 1,000 times, you should try something that will change the way human history unfolds. In order to be successful, one must have a scientific mindset. This is due to the fact that scientific information has the potential to transform any field that requires it. Also, it does not make a difference if it is about your job, your finances, your physical health, your mental health, a relationship that isn't working out, or any other element of your life. The Toyota company has recently embraced this scientific method, which is a winning mentality, with the idea of a new water engine that has the potential to outperform the whole electric vehicle market. Describe to me how this concept is implemented in the real world. What about the possibility of water powering high-powered vehicles? A heartfelt thank you for being here with us today as we come to the end of our journey at SpaceVerse. Your support is what drives our investigation of the cosmos. Remember to hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to explore with us. See you until the next time we cross paths in the cosmos.